Good morning, everybody. It's a rare occasion where I'm not going to be asking questions. It's perhaps a rare occasion when I would be probably answering. But let's start with a simple question, because it's rare that I am at a TEDx, which is hosted by a school. That explains change. That explains aspirations. That explains what you can achieve. 15 years ago, nobody would have thought a school like this would organize a TEDx event. Today, that is a reality. The question one needs to ask is, what is that spark that made people aspire for things they were not meant to do? Let me start with our journey. What has been our spark? We are in a business which is a very worrying one. The only thing we do not like right from our childhood, from the time we are born till the time we go, is one single word: questions. We don't like people who ask us questions. We don't like questions. We don't like examinations that have tough questions. Contrast that with my profession. How do I tell people to pay me to ask them questions? Well, it can be quite a challenge. But the reality is, that's really what ignited the spark in us. There is a common belief, not just in this country, but world over, that people who quiz, people who indulge in knowledge events are tending to be people who are more confident and over a period of time, therefore, tend to be more successful. The question to ask, therefore, was, how do you increase the general knowledge and confidence of those who do not quiz? It's very easy in this world to make the good better and the better excellent. But how do you create a higher least common denominator? That is a challenge. That was our spark. Who ignited that spark in us? We started in a small way, like any startup would, with small daily ambitions of doing better than what you did yesterday. But then came someone who asked us a question which made us think long and hard. And the question came from none less than our former president of this country, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who at one of the programs with us smilingly asked, "Can you ignite the minds of 1 million children each year?" Putting that actually into a business plan became a huge mammoth challenge. In reality, we went about taking that seriously. We figured it's not only about quiz, it's about knowledge. Eventually, we ended up creating what is called the knowledge tribe. Human beings have two simple desires. We either seek knowledge or we share knowledge. And together, we form a tribe, which is a knowledge tribe. The fundamental simplicity of that is what helped us grow. And grow we did to some extent, through tough times, through good times, because the simple nature of humans is to seek out knowledge. Therefore, all we've done in igniting our spark is to create a knowledge tribe by igniting human curiosity. In the process, we've touched about 20 million youngsters across 18 years. But that is not the important part. What is important is for you, as youngsters who are going to be the flag bearers of the future of this world, to ask yourselves, how do you ignite your spark? Every individual has that in them. For some, like a dinosaur, it just stays latent. For some, it gets ignited and then you become people for change. You got to ask yourself a fundamental question. Do I want to stand along the roadside and watch history as it passes by? Or do I want to be there to influence the way history shapes itself? If you choose which side you want to be, you know if you want to ignite your spark. And if the answer is yes, it's a simple method to ignite your spark. Ask yourself a couple of questions. What ignites your curiosity? We're all human beings. And there are certain things that ignites your curiosity. Now, how do you know what ignites your curiosity? Ask yourself another simple question. What do you do without being told to do it. We all need to be told to do certain things. But there are certain things that you would want to do without even being told by anybody to do it. Mark those out in your life. Those lead to your areas of deep curiosity. When you are curious, please understand, you are willing to learn more. As youngsters, the way you would want to look at curiosity is curiosity leads to more time being spent by you because you want to do it. And when you want to do it, you go deeper and deeper and deeper. It could be a singer that you love, an actor that you follow, food that you like to consume. The moment you start liking it, you start going deeper about it. It could be anything in this world, from Korean soap opera, which none understand sometimes, yet go deep to understand what it is, simply because it ignites your passion, it ignites your spark. So, my dear young friends, go ahead and figure what makes you curious as a human being. It is an important first tick for you to know what direction your life will take. Second, what ignites your happiness? It's a very important but simple question to ask ourselves. It has nothing to do with only the youth. It's relevant at every age segment in this world. What ignites your happiness? At the end of the day, human existence has one quest. You want to be happy when you wake up in the morning. If life is fundamentally that simple, we complicate it by not looking at the simple aspects, which is what ignites your happiness. How do you address that? Simple. Ask yourselves, what do you do that you never get tired of doing? What do you do that you never get tired of doing? If someone wakes you up at 4 o'clock in the morning and says, do this, and you're willing to do it, that's giving you happiness. Therefore, you're willing to do it at 4 o'clock in the morning. If I am a professional quiz master and I have to travel 180 days, which I haven't for the last 2 years, but if you were doing that and if you had to catch a flight every morning at 4 o'clock, and if that wasn't making it happy, you would not last the distance. You would stop 1 week, 1 month, 6 months later and say, I've had enough of this. So try and ask yourselves, what are the things that you do that you just don't get tired of doing? Please understand, when you are happy and you don't get tired of doing it, you find what is called unlimited energy. That unlimited energy fuels your quest to pursue your curiosity. These are interlinked with each other, and these are the ingredients of what I call a spark. Most important, all of us in school, in life, are taught one big lesson. Starting from class 1 to probably the end of your education, you're always told, learn from your failures. All of us are told, learn from your failures. That's not wrong. But I have a different theory, and I have pursued that sincerely in my quest. Always, we tend to ask ourselves a lot of questions when we fail. The first thing we do when things don't go right, we get into a shell. We start asking questions. Hey, what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? What did I do wrong? Why is it not the way I want it to be? You spend a lot of time introspecting when you fail. How much time do you spend asking yourself the same questions when you succeed? Hardly any. You're busy celebrating. You did phenomenally well in your exams. You got 99 in math, and you never did that in all your existence on earth. You're so happy you got 99. You're asking yourself, was there a totaling mistake? You're in doubt because you did so well, but maybe you did something right that time. We are never willing to allocate time to question our success. Please, children, ask questions to yourself when you succeed. And the reason is simple. It will help you invest your time in what you're good at. Because you're good at 5 things, you succeed. The problem is we take what we are good at for granted and spend enormous amount of time trying to rectify what we are not good at. Stop wasting your time trying to rectify your failures. Start working on your success sauce. Everyone's good at something. You cannot be good at everything. If that is a fundamental acceptance in you, start focusing on what you're good at. Success will embrace you more often because you're repeatedly doing what you're good at. Great sporting teams across the world, great champions like Roger Federer, stick to what they're good at. They negate what they are bad at. If they cannot play a particular shot, they remove that shot from their armory and don't attempt it at all. Leave it. I'm not going to waste time trying to master something that does not come to me. Optimize your time and invest in what you're good at. Every one of us in this world are good at something. The problem is we don't give it enough time. How do you validate these? Listen to your inner voice. Your inner voice, fortunately or unfortunately, knows only to speak the truth. We refuse to accept the inner voice is another matter. But the reality is that inner voice only tells you the truth. So when you ask yourself, am I genuinely curious about this? Or am I doing it because someone's put pressure on me? You know the reality. You know the reality if that curiosity is what wakes you up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Invest time in what you're good at. But be truthful to yourself if that is the right area that you are focusing on. Please understand, when you do things with genuine passion and you're genuinely good at it, then you're honest about what you're doing. And when you're honest about what you're doing, people get attracted to you voluntarily. Then you don't need a marketing campaign, you don't need social media, you don't need anything to reach out to people, because people will reach out to you. That is the simple mantra. When you are honest and genuine about what you go about doing, people get attracted to you and people want to be with you when you are an honest leader. Finally, it's in this one map that you will learn how to ignite your own spark. What ignites your curiosity? Ask yourself that question. When you do that, learn deep. Curiosity leads you to deep learning. Please understand, surface knowledge is good for conversations. Depth of knowledge is what makes a difference. It's something you need to understand and understand at a very early age. Whatever you do, be so damn good at it that no one can question you about it. That is what makes you a very, very potent player in whatever domain you choose to play your game. Second, what makes you happy? Happiness gives you energy. Energy gives you the fuel to keep going on and on and on. Nothing combats failure like high energy. It's your energy which is a combat to your difficult moments. What did the world do for 2 years when they had COVID, which nobody had planned for? They brought out energy which they did not know existed in them. And that energy brought about innovation. That innovation brought about the resilience, and the world has today got out of a phase it had not prepared for. What makes you succeed? Please understand, when you know what makes you succeed, invest time in that. When you do what you do well over and over and over and over again, you become a master at it. Invest time in it. And finally, be honest. When you're honest in your dealing, it leads to your spark. It's a very simple diagrammatic flow of how you would ignite your spark. Now, as youngsters, you would ask me a very innocent but pertinent question. What happens when you ignite that spark in you? So what? In your language, big deal. Why do I have to invite that spark? If I ignite that spark, what's going to happen? Life is very simple. When you ignite the spark in you, the sky is not the limit. That is the difference it will make to your future. Thank you for having me here.